CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
We welcome you back to Baltimore, where the temperature is really unseasonably nice. 65 degrees and overcast. Rain is predicted for later in the day. We'll see whether it affects today's game or not. As Joe Flacco looks on, it'll be the Cincinnati Bengals getting their hands on the football first. Ray Lewis relegated to spectator status today, as is A.J. Green. The Ravens won the toss and have deferred, which means they will kick to the Bengals. Both these teams 6-3, and in the middle, Dan, of a dandy fight in the AFC North.
The AFC North, one of the most competitive divisions in football, and you're right about that. Another issue with the weather today, absolutely no wind whatsoever. Dead fine.
Brandon Tate is deep for the kick. And he will not run this one out of the end zone. He will take the touchback, and the Bengals will start at their own 20-yard line. One of the bright stories of this NFL season has been the play of rookie quarterback Andy Dalton. He's completing 60% of his throws with 14 touchdown passes against 9 interceptions. And Dan, a rookie in name only, because he has all the confidence and savvy, it appears, of a veteran.
Well, 4 quarterbacks were drafted ahead of him. And again, when you study him and you watch him play, there's really nothing about his game that every now and then screams rookie. Very consistent.
And we get a penalty right off the bat.
False start. Offense number 63. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Ron Winter, our referee here today.
A little discouraging for a head coach to watch his team experience a penalty, and there's been no time elapsed off the clock at all. That'll make your hair turn gray.
This is Benson, and Benson may have gotten a yard up front for the Bengals. One of the best in the league is left tackle Andrew Whitworth, 6'7", 335 pounds in his 6th season out of LSU. And rookie A.J. Green out today with the knee injury from last week. 4th year wide receiver Andre Caldwell starts for him outside.
Greg, we talked about the Bengals being a good road team, so they get a false start before they're even able to run one play. And then on that last play, their offensive line didn't even get off on the snap count. They were not in sync at all.
From the shotgun on 2nd and 14 on the outside, that pass is complete to Andrew Hawkins, the rookie out of Toledo. A look at Baltimore's 3-4 defense. Big Terrence Cody in the middle, being counted on to help stop Cincinnati's running game, led by Cedric Benson. Ray Lewis' streak of 57 straight starts comes to an end with a toe injury today. Donnell Ellerby fills in for him. And holding the Ravens secondary, 7-time Pro Bowler Ed Reed. Andy Dalton conceded to us that, he's heard of him and might be on the lookout for number 20 today.
But Ray looks like he's ready to run out on the field.
Dalton on 3rd and 8. That pass is complete and dropped. Jermaine Gresham appeared to have it.
Well, actually, you got to give Nakamura a lot of credit, because he actually strips the ball away from Gresham. That looked like that was going to be a completion, a great throw from Dalton, but what a fantastic play by Haruki Nakamura. Right there, that's going to end up being a catch, and he gets his right hand in on the football and strips it away from Gresham.
Ladarius Webb is deep for the kick upcoming from Kevin Huber. Fair catch called for, and he dropped it, and he will be down at about the 32-yard line. So that brings Joe Flacco onto the field. He is the Baltimore quarterback, a career-high 52 pass attempts in last week's loss at Seattle, 10 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions on the season. And I think it's pretty much accepted around here that that's just throwing the ball too much for anyone's happiness other than maybe Joe Flacco's.
But you take a look at that graphic at the bottom there. He won 14 of 15 at home. That's the guy wins.
From their own 32-yard line. This is Rice.
And you hear the crowd. They're reacting to the call. They're just excited to see a running play. A pretty savvy football audience here in Baltimore. And a good hole off the right side. And you can see that Chris Crocker, the safety, is the guy that's got to come in there and make the head. Rice got into the second level of the Cincinnati defense pretty easily.
Now Flacco on 2nd and 3. This is Rice again. And Rice to about the 40-yard line. The anchor in the middle of a big Ravens offensive line is 14-year veteran center Matt Burke from Harvard. And the backs and the receivers, the coaches, and Ray Rice want more from the running back this week than the 5 carries for 27 yards he had last Sunday in Seattle. There is John Harbaugh in his 4th season here in Baltimore as a head coach.
I believe Lee Evans is out on the field for the Ravens.
He has missed 7 straight games with an ankle injury, and that pass is behind Rice, the intended receiver.
Well, Ray Rice ran a pattern that Joe Flacco wasn't expecting. You know, that's a read on the defense, and the receiver adjusts his route accordingly. And Joe reads it one way, and obviously Ray Rice read it another. Because Joe releases that thing, and he's not expecting Ray Rice to break that far to the sideline.
So Sam Cook will kick it away to Brandon Tate. Tate backs all the way up to his own 6-yard line. And tripped up as he crossed the 15 to about the 17. 12:32 to play in the first quarter. We're scoreless in Baltimore. We talked about the focus being on the rookie quarterback Andy Dalton, and rightly so. So much of the early success this season has fallen on his shoulders. First down. Fakes the pass, gives to Benson, and Jameel McClain is there to meet Benson.
Well, McClain plays the jack linebacker. That was Bart Scott's old position on this team. And just good job of reading the gap. That's his responsibility to fill that gap, and works his way upfield. Cedric Benson never had a chance on that. Someone on the offensive line is supposed to rub off and pick up the middle linebacker.
No gain makes it 2nd and 10.
Two teams that are very difficult to run against. You got to scratch and claw for every yard.
Dalton going to go deep. Pulled in downfield by Jerome Simpson.
Well, Jerome Simpson is capable of making the coaches scratch their heads sometimes. Why did you do this? But he's also capable of brilliance. And that is what, look at his ability to stay with that football. And that looked like it was going to get knocked away. I mean, look how close Williams was to knocking that away.
That's a 47-yard pickup.
And what a perfect strike. We're so caught up in the catch. What a perfect strike from Andy Dalton.
This is Benson. Benson to about the 32. We saw Jerome Simpson just playing around with a football on the field at the beginning of the game. He's got terrific hands to begin with.
He's just been inconsistent in his years here in the National Football League. He's a 4th-year player, and the coaches are constantly on him. But you can see why they're coaching him when you see somebody capable of something like that.
2nd and 7.
And man, how good was that throw by Dalton?
Yellow.
Simpson straight ahead to about the 30. Look at the pair of hands on Jerome Simpson here. What a great job of keeping control of the football.
Well, here it's focus and body control. But, look at the exercise. We recorded this prior to the game. That's Simpson out there during, that's an hour and a half before kickoff.
That's a lot harder than what he just did.
That's very hard. You're fighting gravity. That's really something.
3rd and 5. That's a diving catch inside the 20-yard line by Andrew Hawkins for a first down.
Well, Andrew Hawkins is a Canadian Football League player who's found a home here with Cincinnati, and he's not a big guy. He's only 5'7", so when you see him lay out like that, and does he control the football? He sure does. Remember, the ball's allowed to touch the turf as long as you firmly control it. That was some effort by Andrew Hawkins.
On first down, they give us to Benson, and he's tripped up in the backfield.
Well, again, Corey Redding in there, and Jarrett Johnson as well. This is again just two defenses. That's played the run so well. Statistically, the Ravens are 4th in the NFL. The Bengals are 2nd. Only a difference of about 4 yards.
There's Jay Gruden, the offensive coordinator, in his first year here in Cincinnati. And we get a timeout on the field. So a timeout with 8:29 to play. The Bengals on the march. We're coming back to Baltimore in just a moment.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Autotrader.com. Now compare new and used cars side by side at Autotrader.com. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Back in Baltimore, the defensive lineage has fallen to that man, Chuck Pagano, looking to his defense to make a red zone stop here. 2nd and 11.
The players love his aggressiveness.
Dalton throwing and incomplete at the goal line, and penalty markers down. Intended for Caldwell.
Well, Caldwell does an out and then attempts to break to the end zone, and he might have been held in that process.
Pass interference. Defense number 25. Not playing the ball. First down at the spot of the foul.
Penalty is on Chris Carr.
All right, let's take here, right over here, where you can see the receiver. There goes Caldwell, and he does that little stutter step. And then he and Carr collide. Now, Carr does have a right. He does have a right to the real estate that he's occupying. But you can see Ron Winters said he was called because he didn't play the football. He had his back turned to the ball.
1st and goal. Benson to the end zone. Touchdown.
Well, the crowd here in Baltimore unhappy with that call that gave Cincinnati that field position. And Cedric Benson just a little stutter step, which normally doesn't work very well, but he found a crease back on the left side. Right there as he makes his cut back, cuts right in behind Bobby Williams, his right guard, and then follows his center, Kyle Cook, right into the end zone.
Benson's 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. And you'll have a momentary delay here.
Well, it's a scoring play, so it's automatically reviewed upstairs.
And it's been approved, and now Mike Nugent will kick the extra point.
The rubber stamp has come down and said touchdown.
Nugent's kick is good. We made a point of it earlier. Cedric Benson has a pretty good day every once in a while running against these Baltimore Ravens. He scores the first touchdown of the afternoon, 7-0 Cincinnati. A Thursday on CBS, CYTV Guide calls Person of Interest a must-see mystery. Emmy winner Michael Emerson and Jim Caviezel star in the new hit drama Person of Interest, Thursday, only CBS. Cedric Benson with the touchdown.
Well, a lot went right for Cincinnati on that drive. You know, the circus catch by Simpson. Hawkins lays out and makes a highlight reel catch. They get the penalty against Carr that could have gone either way.
I can't help but think you were talking about Andy Dalton's accuracy. That pass hit his receiver in the helmet.
It's all you hear people talk about.
Tom Zibikowski is deep. And Zibikowski will run this one out of the end zone. Oof! Hit hard just short of the 20-yard line.
Of course, Zibikowski returned that kickoff because David Reed is inactive today after 2 fumbles in Seattle that he lost.
Listen to this. That was Taylor Mays.
And Taylor Mays, the second-year guy out of Southern Cal, a huge safety at 6'3", 230 pounds, and he's always been known as a big hitter. He delivered in that case.
So now the Ravens from the 19, the pitch to Rice around the right side. Thomas Howard and Manny Lawson converged. You see the difference between the first 5 games and the last 5 games.
Well, they fell behind by pretty good margins against both the Cardinals and Seattle. Being behind 7-0 halfway through the first quarter, I don't think it's going to affect Cam Cameron's play calling here. But it has been a problem.
Flacco to throw. Little flip to Rice out of the backfield. Rice across the 25 and out to about the 28-yard line. That'll be about a yard short of a first down.
Well, good job by Joe Flacco of just fighting for that extra second to deliver the football to Ray Rice. Staying alive in the pocket. There's a dilemma that the Ravens want to get back to running the football, but also because of injuries and whatnot and how well Cincinnati defends the run, that they may be vulnerable to throwing.
Ricky Williams in the backfield on 3rd and short, and he is right at that first down marker. And from the initial spot, it looks like he has enough for the first down. He does.
Man, if you could see the football through that, you've got X-ray eyes.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I was watching the official and not the ball.
There's Mike Zimmer, the Cincinnati defensive coordinator, and he's one of the very best in football. And I'll tell you one trademark of a Mike Zimmer defense, man, they fly to the football. You don't ever look at one of these defenses and go, man, there's somebody taking a play off. Never happened.
Ricky Williams stays in for the first down play, and we get a whistle and a penalty and a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Wow, that did not seem like the Ravens were in the huddle for any inordinate amount of time. That just, when I saw the back judge throw that flag, I'm going, what is that all about?
Maybe the quickest 25 seconds on the planet.
No.
So it's 1st and 15. Ricky Williams, left side. Just across the 25 to the 26-yard line, and Geno Atkins makes the stop.
Yeah, we talked a little bit earlier about the Cincinnati defense and how well they're playing. Take a look at that. They lead the league in forced 3-and-outs, rushing yards, big plays, 10+ explosive plays. That's when you're single digit and top 5 in those kind of categories, you're playing defense at a high level. On 2nd and 13. Little screen set up and Rice dropped it. Well, and that's, that wasn't the fault of Joe Flacco, because Geno Atkins is in his face. You've got to stop the initial rush. Take a look. There's 97 Atkins. You've got to slow him down. He gets by Yonda. And again, Joe Flacco's having that screen needed another half second or so to develop. And Geno Atkins, by getting upfield and getting in the face of the quarterback, he single-handedly dismantled that thing.
Geno Atkins has been in a lot of face this season. Lee Evans on the field, bottom of the screen. Flacco, screen to the other side. This is to Dixon, and Dixon across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Not enough for a first down, and that'll force the punt.
Well, that 5-yard penalty for delay a game really put the Ravens in a tough situation.
You saw Marvin Lewis there doing a little coaching on the sideline. He's a much more relaxed coach this time around, don't you think? This is a team that comes off of a horrible 4-12 season last year that was pretty taxing on the head coach.
It might be a little less drama in Cincinnati than it is there.
That one looks to be off the side of the foot, but takes a Baltimore roll. And out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. 4:19 to play in the first quarter. Cedric Benson has the only points of the day on the board. It's 7-0 Cincinnati.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limits, only from Sprint. And by Dodge Grand Caravan, the right tool for the job.
4:19 to play here in the first quarter. The Bengals from their own 21-yard line. Bernard Scott in the backfield now gets the handoff. And up the middle, out across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. Get scores and manage CBS Sports Fantasy Football teams on your mobile phone. To get the free app, simply call *CBS or go to cbssports.com/mobile.
It's so odd just to see Ray Lewis standing over there next to Chuck Pagano.
And you know it's killing him.
Oh, wow. 36 years old and still playing this game at a high level.
On 2nd and 3, it's Scott again. Scott to about the 30. That'll be a yard short of a first down.
Well, the reason this game is 7-0 is because of the last drive of the Bengals, and so much went right. Barely over the fingertips of Kerry Williams. A great catch there by Jerome Simpson. Then laying out is the little guy, Andrew Hawkins, and then Benson finishes it off. So, if you're the Ravens, you got to be thinking to yourself, I want to see if they can pull that stuff off all afternoon.
3rd and 1. Scott has the first down. And with that, we get our first NFL Today update of the day. To New York, JB and the coach.
Dallas looking to add to Washington's woe.
And Dallas offense starting to get uncranked here. Romo to Des Bryant, 22 yards. Great throw, great route, 7-0 Dallas.
That's in Landover. All right, back to Greg and Dan.
All right, guys, thank you.
Well, just what the Bengals wanted to help protect this young quarterback is some success on the ground. And they got a good first down run from Benson, and then a 3rd down conversion from Scott. Moving chains.
Dalton on first down. And Scott held up for a moment and then buried back at the 26-yard line. Daniel Ellerbe with the stop. Once again, back to New York. What you got, guys?
The nickname is appropriate all day.
I'll tell you what, he leads the league in the NFL rushing. 2-7 Minnesota. They jump out in front of Oakland. 7-0, 12 yards. Adrian Peterson. These guys are still playing hard, JB.
His 11th rushing touchdown. Back to Greg Gumbel. Dan Deardorff.
All right, Coach. JB, thank you so much.
Well, Greg, props to Daniel Ellerbe filling in for Ray Lewis on that last play. He forced a 5-yard loss by shooting the gap.
2nd and 15 now. Dalton from the shotgun. That pass complete across the 30 out to about the 34-yard line. Andre Caldwell on the receiving end.
And he's being defended by Jimmy Smith. And Jimmy Smith, the team's #1 draft pick, he's going to see a lot more playing time today. He's in on the nickel package. He got hurt in the opener. He missed 4 games with an ankle sprain. Good tight coverage, but again, what a very accurate throw again from Dalton. But Jimmy Smith going to play a lot more today, and these Ravens fans are anxious to see their #1 pick out on the field.
Now a 3rd and 8. Dalton under pressure. On the move. Can't get rid of it and goes down at the 30. Bernard Pollard giving chase and making the play.
Well, great team defense by the Ravens. That's the way you get him on the move, and then once he's on the move, you don't ever allow him to set his feet and make a play. And Andy Dalton played a little smart football there. He did not chuck that thing down there where maybe it's an interception.
Low kick. Bounces. And bounces past Ladarius Webb. He corrals it back inside the 15, trying to turn the corner. And we get run out of bounds at about the 15 or 16-yard line. That kick turns into good fortune for the Bengals. 7-0 Cincinnati. Less than half a minute remaining here in the first quarter. That tells you the Baltimore Ravens aren't in the habit of losing back-to-back games.
Ravens have an extra offensive lineman in the game, normally indicating a running formation.
Flacco lost the ball and had to fall on it inside the 10.
Well, that was ugly. That was not what you would expect from a couple of veteran players like Flacco and Rice. It's a high formation, and you can see that Joe Flacco hits the arm of his fullback, Vontae Leach.
And we will not get another playoff before the first quarter expires.
Either Leach was too tight on his blocking angle, or Joe Flacco misjudged it.
That's the end of one here in Baltimore. 7-0 Bengals. We're back right after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS. We'll remind you, you can stay in the game all season long with the NFL's new selection of mobile apps. Get unparalleled access to stats, fantasy news, video, and more. Go to NFL.com/mobile today. Welcome back to Baltimore as we begin the second quarter. The Bengals with a 7-0 lead. And Baltimore looking at a 2nd and 17 from their own 9. And a whistle.
False start, 88. Offense, half the distance to the goal.
The call is on tight end Dennis Pitta.
Wow, it's just one mistake after another on the Ravens. Remember the last play of the first quarter as Joe Flacco tries to extend the ball to Ray Rice. It hits the right forearm of blocking fullback Vontae Leach, and then they follow that up. And that is the 10th time that, Joe gets credit for that. He's lost 5 of those fumbles.
This isn't baseball. You don't get props for a 500 average.
No, you don't.
Flacco out of his own end zone. The pass to Rice. And not much there as he makes it out to about the 8 or 9 yard line. The boos come down. We head back to New York, guys.
Miami still adding to the scoreboard.
Oh, and Matt Moore, 6 of 7 already, 116 yards, and Reggie Bush, 5 yards out. Hey, who needs Andrew Luck? They got Matt Moore, 14-3 Miami.
I'm sure Greg and Dan will have something to say about that.
Funny you should mention that, JB. Our director, Bob Fishman, and I were talking about what if Tony Sperano wins out. They are in a fine pickle down in Miami.
Yes, they are.
Flacco going to go deep. Down the near sideline, incomplete. Pass intended for Lee Evans, the speedster. And he was double covered all the way.
Well, that's the kind of stretching the field that they were hoping to see from Lee Evans, who hasn't played in 2 months because of an ankle injury. And you can see right there that Kelly Jennings is playing him all the way on the fly pattern. He never once thought he was going to break it off. But that, just the attempt, stretching the field means something. But this is the Ravens offense so far out of 6.
Sam Cook with a much bigger kick this time, chasing Tate all the way back to his own 30-yard line. And he's wrapped up short of the 40. Cook unloads a 61-yard kick with an 8-yard return. We have 14:04 to play here in the first half. Cincinnati with the ball and a 7-0 lead, and Ray Lewis just an onlooker today due to toe injury.
Hey, there's Ray.
Play fake to Benson. Dalton gonna throw it deep, has a man wide open, and missed him. Andre Caldwell stretching out and just couldn't control it on his fingertips.
Well, Andy Dalton's not perfect. He has been so far in this game. He's been throwing it awfully well, but this was a misfire to the guy that's been the most open all day. And Andre Caldwell was a good 3 yards past anybody in the Ravens secondary. And a textbook delivery, but wow, just led him by about 2 feet too much.
2nd and 10. Gives straight up the middle to Benson to about the 40.
Well, now can the Ravens defense bow their back here and force a Cincinnati punt? Because you dodged one. You dodged a big one with Dalton's inability to hit Caldwell on that first down play. Now, if you can get out of here, force a punt, that's some really good news. There's some communication issues with the Ravens. They could not get aligned properly.
Timeout.
They're forced to burn a timeout here with 13:15 to play in the first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, with 5 times the selection of ordinary jewelry stores. Acura, Advance. And by Head & Shoulders, respect the scalp, get the hair.
Welcome back, everyone. A 3rd and 8 for Andy Dalton and the Bengal offense. Here come the Ravens. Dalton over the middle. Miscommunication. Andrew Hawkins went one way and the ball went another.
Well, Ed Reed came on the blitz that time, and that forced the issue a little bit. Here comes Reed off the left. He comes right up the middle. He's picked up by Cedric Benson. But in that sellout blitz by the Ravens, Dalton had to get rid of it quickly, and another miscommunication.
Reed is back now, and there's one off the side of the foot of Huber.
Wow.
And that's just a horrible punt.
That is a complete shame.
Wherever this one's going to be lined up, it's not going to be a good result for the Bengals.
That couldn't have been more than a 15-yard kick.
That's exactly what it was, a 15-yard punt. Hey, tomorrow on CBS, it's a Hawaii 5-0. Everyone will be talking about Jimmy Buffett guest stars on an all-new episode tomorrow, only CBS.
Well, this worked out well for Baltimore. Now, can they capitalize? Remember, first play of that drive was a long gainer for sure that Andy Dalton overthrew his receiver. Now the tail end of it, look where the Ravens get the start.
From their own 45, Ray Rice straight ahead, and Rice out to midfield for about a 5-yard pickup. And a defense which looked very confused on the last series of downs, trying to regroup on the sideline.
Yeah, they had to take a timeout, which was smart to do. And, normally, they're here. This is a defense, and I know Ray Rice isn't playing middle linebacker. Ray Lewis isn't playing middle linebacker. But still, too many veterans on there to have communications issues.
Flacco on 2nd and 5. Vontae Leach, and Leach bounced out of bounds right at about the line of scrimmage.
Well, you talk, and that's a good look there at Ray Maualuga, who's moved to middle linebacker, and that's because they signed Manny Lawson and Thomas Howard to play the outside linebacker position. And you talk to Marvin Lewis, and he just tells you flat out, we're just better because we have better players. We're bigger. We're stronger on defense. This is such an improved Cincinnati team.
Baltimore with only one first down to its credit today, looking for its second. Flacco has time and throws, and that's complete to Ed Dixon, the tight end.
And Pac-Man Jones was there on coverage. And Ed Dixon, man, has this guy blossomed into a receiving tight end. Not the greatest blocker, but who cares? He has got a tremendous pair of hands, and that was a grade A throw from Joe Flacco.
I believe that's a one-handed catch,
yeah.
A one-armed catch.
Pac-Man, the coverage was pretty decent. It took a great throw to beat it.
On first down, Flacco rolling, looking deep, and now throws short, and he's got his man in between. That's Bolden. Bolden, touchdown.
Well, that play was not designed to go to Anquan Bolden. But Joe Flacco so completely surprised the Cincinnati defense, he's able to get out there and sit in a rocking chair for a while, look, and then Anquan Bolden breaks back to the middle of the field, makes himself a target, and Flacco finds him.
Bolden's third touchdown catch of the season.
Nice awareness by Joe Flacco.
Billy Cumber for the extra point. The bad punt, and then Baltimore goes 55 yards in 4 plays. We're tied at 7. Joe Flacco's touchdown pass to Anquan Bolden has rejuvenated the crowd. It's 7-7 with 11:17 to play here in the first half. Baltimore on its first 3 drives of the game managed just 31 yards and had to punt it 3 times. Brandon Tate, deep. This is a mammoth kick that won't be returned. It'll be Cincinnati ball at their own 20-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown pass.
Well, when Joe Flacco is going to come out onto the bootleg, he's going to boot this direction. Here's the guy he wants to go to, Torrey Smith, who's going. Here's Bolden all the way up here, who comes up and makes himself a target. And that's the key thing. Joe, first of all, has all this time, no pressure from Cincinnati. He comes off Smith, and the Cincinnati defense goes to sleep on Bolden. Watch this. Bolden and Flacco are almost mirrored here, running together. And you can see Joe comes up. You can see his head whip back to the left when he came off of Torrey Smith, trying to find an option, and he found Anquan Bolden.
Andy Dalton now from his own 20-yard line, going to take to the air. Far side, knocked down, and came close to being picked by Ladarius Webb.
Really close to being picked. Ladarius Webb is becoming such a good football player. And look at that break on the ball. And Cedric Benson should work his way back to the ball a little bit. That would have been an unbelievable interception. But Webb already has 2. He's got good hands.
On second and 10, Dalton throwing near sideline, incomplete. Pass intended for Jerome Simpson.
Well, I think that's a mistake by the Bengals. I don't think they wanted Simpson and Hawkins that close to each other. That just takes a lot of defense with you. You want a little spacing in your passing game, and the Bengals had anything but. And this crowd is into it now.
Play clock down to 3, 2, 1, and they got it off. Dalton throwing this side and off the hands of Simpson.
And Kerry Williams delivers a nice big hit for the exclamation point.
What?
Again, Andy Dalton finds the receiver. Even if this would have been caught, I think the coverage from Kerry Williams was good enough that he wouldn't have gotten to the sticks to move them. Good hit.
Huber with a better kick this time to the 30-yard line. Here's Webb, and Webb is out of bounds. Just under 11 minutes to play here in the first half. We have a 7-7 game in Baltimore.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by the Honda Odyssey, like no van before.
Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf back in Baltimore, 10:56 to play here in the first half of a 7-7 game. And Baltimore from their own 34-yard line, Flacco to throw. Sideline, that one is caught by Torrey Smith for a first down at about the 47-yard line.
Well, the Ravens come out and show run in the I formation. That's a passing formation. And this throw low and away. And boy, that is a good effort by Torrey Smith of going down and getting it. That I don't think Joe Flacco intended for that thing to be that far to the outside and that low, but nice work of Smith by digging it out.
And Quan Bolden takes a breather, and Lee Evans comes onto the field. On first down, Flacco gonna go deep for Torrey Smith. Got it!
Well, Cam Cameron now twice in the I formation, which is a running formation, goes to the air both times, and what a throw, what a strike from Joe Flacco. We all know that there's not a corner in the league that Torrey Smith can't run past. And he gets a little separation on Nate Clements, even though Clements is clawing at him, trying to grab onto something to get back tight. Tremendous throw by Flacco, and good work by the rookie.
On first and goal, Flacco rolls, throws, Leach to the 5. And Ray Maualuga with the hit.
And there's no question, John Harbaugh told us that we're going to go after their corners. You know, Leon Hall, their best corner, on injured reserve, tore his Achilles last week. Jonathan Joseph, he's now playing football for the Houston Texans. And Clements and Jennings are new. Pac-Man's coming off injury. It's an area that the Bengals intend to, the Ravens intend to exploit.
On second and goal, Ray Rice right side looking for the end zone and found it for the touch. No, he's marked down at the 1. At the half-yard line.
Well, the officials ruling that Rice's knee hit the ground before the ball crossed the plane.
Third down.
Remember, this isn't a scoring play, so it's not automatically reviewed.
And they're going to say his knee hit the ground before he pushed that ball over the goal line.
And now the play clock is running. It's under 10 seconds, and the Ravens are still in the huddle. And here comes the challenge flag from John Harbaugh.
And not a bad throw from John.
No, he threw. He was either going to have to throw the challenge flag or take a timeout.
Baltimore's challenge a ruling on the field, but the runner was down by contact short of the goal line.
Just keep in mind, if that would have gotten into the end zone, then it's an automatic review, but because it wasn't, it's up to Harbaugh to challenge, and he does.
We'll have Ron Winter's decision right after this.
Welcome back to Baltimore, everybody. Let's look at the right knee of Ray Rice first. And here it comes in to frame right there. Okay, there's the knee, and here is the football. And the football, I don't believe, had crossed the plane yet when his knee is down. You know, ultimately, Rice easily ends up in the end zone. But I'm thinking that the call on the field is going to stand. Now, where they spot the ball, they may re-spot the ball. But it looked to me like that ball had not yet broken the plane when Rice's right knee touches the turf.
Dan, it's an interesting challenge from John Harbaugh, considering he still has 2 more downs down here. Here's Ron Winter.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner's knee was down with the ball short of the goal line. Baltimore is charged with a team timeout. It's third down.
You can't. It's a scoring play, and John Harbaugh, for a timeout, had a chance to get a touchdown, and it was so close. It was so close. You can't blame him for the challenge. I think just about anybody would have challenged it. I certainly would have.
Well, if that was a third down play, I would consider it. Anyway, here is Ray Rice standing up for the touchdown.
You know, Greg, touchdowns are just hard to come by. And they're just not a given. Your point's well made. I know what you're saying.
That may be a timeout he may be wishing for at the end of this first half.
Well, he got the touchdown that he was wishing for. And Ray Rice hasn't scored many that are easier than that. Great blocking up front. Matt Burke, the center, Marshall Yonda at right guard, and then Michael Orr. Wow, what a huge hole for Rice to saunter into the end zone.
His 7th rushing touchdown of the season, his 9th overall, and the extra point is good. Just about 8.5 minutes to play here in the first half. And the Ravens, with their first lead of the day, they lead the Bengals 14-7. Ray Rice on the scoring end of a 66-yard drive. The big play, the long pass from Joe Flacco to Torrey Smith to set it all up.
Well, out of the I formation, they showed run, and Cam Cameron pretty smartly twice went to a passing play out of that predominantly run formation and ended up with a nice completion, first to Dixon and then the over-the-top throw to Torrey Smith. And wow, Torrey Smith is making a habit of climbing up on top of some secondaries in this league. The respect that he's going to get from corners is going to grow and grow.
Some coach somewhere along the line told him to go home and work on his speed, and he did that. Another booming kick from Condit. Not returnable. And the Ravens, or the Bengals, will start from their own 20.
Well, both of these teams had a 3 and out on their first possession, but then it got going after that. That long pass from Dalton to Simpson. Benson finished off the drive for Cincinnati's score. Then Antoine Bolden, a great check down by Joe Flacco, and Bolden muscles it into the end zone. And then completing that drive after the long pass to Smith was Ray Rice with a tap dance into the end zone. 14-7 Baltimore.
Now Andy Dalton from his own 20-yard line, dealing with the Raven defense and the crowd. This is Bernard Scott. And this is going to be a penalty against the Bengals.
I think it's a false start.
False start. Offense number 84. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Tight end Jermaine Gresham.
Give an assist to the crowd here in Baltimore for that. So if you think it was loud on the last one, wait till you get a load of this. And a good look there at Donnell Ellerby, who's filling in for Ray Lewis today. Keep in mind, he's just back. He hasn't played in over a month with a hamstring problem. So he's got some rust that he's got to knock off as well.
Please reset the game clock to 8:33.
Well, they got to put some seconds back on the clock because that play never happened.
So Bernard Scott still in the backfield now on a 1st and 15. Dalton throwing far side of the field and has his man across the 20-yard line. That's Andre Caldwell. Andy Dalton had the good start today. Joe Flacco coming on strong, 9 of 12 for 132 yards.
Coming on very strong. And then nothing glamorous. We talked about it. Rushing yards going to be tough to come by. Those two barely getting 2 yards a carry.
On 2nd and 8. Dalton just throws that one into the turf. But one of the things that we heard from, we heard it from Marvin Lewis, we heard it from offensive coordinator Jay Gruden, what they liked Andy Dalton's accuracy, but even more, they talk about his decision making.
Well, we asked John Harbaugh his impressions of Andy Dalton, and he said conservative and smart. Conservative is something a lot of rookies aren't. They think they can make the same throws they used to make in college.
Just beats the clock on the snap back to the sideline, and that is caught across the 30-yard line by Andrew Hawkins for a first down.
Boy, and for the second time today, Hawkins has to lay out to bring in a pass. One thing about Andy Dalton's receivers, they're going after the football. That's another nice effort by Andrew Hawkins, the rookie from Toledo. Marvin Lewis said he just played his way onto our football team. He wouldn't go away. Good. Keep in mind, he's 5'7", 175.
Just across the 30-yard line, this is Bernard Scott. And Scott with a pickup of about 5, maybe 6 yards to about the 37.
Bernard Scott is offering a nice change of pace to Cedric Benson for Marvin Lewis. He's a good receiver and a good solid running back as well.
We talked about what a gigantic matchup this is here in the AFC North, and it's only going to get better as this season moves on, because Cincinnati has beaten Cleveland, lost to Pittsburgh. Baltimore has beaten Pittsburgh twice. Second and 4. Scott. And this is close to a first down, just across the 40-yard line.
Now Cincinnati going with a no huddle.
And it is a first down.
Well, now they're going to go back in. They were up at the line. They were getting ready to run a play, and then Dalton calls them off.
Here's big Andrew Whitworth. What a pleasure it is talking to him, isn't it?
Well, he's old school. And he is an all-business football player. And, you know, we talked earlier about a lot of the drama gone from Cincinnati, and there's a guy that couldn't be happier about it.
Dalton to throw on first down. Gonna go deep. Intended for Jerome Simpson.
Well, they're taking their shots. Kerry Williams again running right with the long striding Cincinnati receiver. And that was good coverage by Williams that forced that throw from Dalton. You can see that Andy Dalton is really stretching the field. Jay Gruden trying to go downfield.
Straight ahead, Bernard Scott. Just to the 45-yard line. And the Bengals looking at a 3rd and 6.
Well, you talk to the guys on the Ravens, and they'll tell you, you know, our fans go, it's all about Pittsburgh. It's all about Pittsburgh. We keep saying, you can't overlook how good Cincinnati is. And even when they're not winning a lot of games, they're tough on us.
Yep, they play the Ravens extremely well. 3rd and 6.
Who's coming, who's not?
Dalton. That ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, falls incomplete.
Yeah. Chuck Pagano said, let's bring everybody. You know, he gave them the look where there's 8 guys standing up on the line of scrimmage. And Andy Dalton thinks he's got a hole off to the left. Oh, nice work there, Bernard Pollard. The blitzing safety elevates and gets a hand on it.
Bengals to punt for the 4th straight time. Fair catch called for by Webb. And made at about the 22-yard line. Fans want a flag, but there is no flag forthcoming.
2 guys ended up on the ground there blocking.
Hey, Tuesday on CBS, Poppy Montgomery and Dylan Walsh star in TV's #1 news show, Unforgettable. An all-new episode Tuesday, only CBS.
Well, what hasn't been unforgettable have been the last couple of series by the Ravens on offense. After a really disappointing first quarter where they looked totally out of rhythm and out of sync and trying to make handoffs and bumping into each other, they have come to life.
Ricky Williams in the backfield for this set of downs. He gets the handoff. And straight ahead to about the 25-yard line, Geno Atkins makes the stop.
Ricky Williams will still give you some quality minutes. He's content with his role here in Baltimore, knowing that Ray Rice is the guy.
Author of 65 career rushing touchdowns.
Seems like a long time ago that Ditka gave up that whole grant.
This is Williams, and he can't get outside. Oh, that's Geno Atkins penetrating to make the play.
Well, a lot of balance today for the Ravens, but this is coming in the last 4 games. Take a look at how out of whack they have been in terms of passing the ball over, running the ball. And then today, Cam Cameron has reeled it in. As you can see, 11 rushes and 12 passes so far in this game. Now, he'd like his runs to be a little more productive than that last one.
Lee Evans on the field on 3rd and 13. Flacco over the middle, off the fingertips of Rice. And Baltimore will kick.
Well, Joe Flacco has the pocket disintegrate around him. Give the Bengals credit for being able to muster some pressure here. You can see they bring 6 guys. And Joe just trying to float it over the top and just a little too high for Ray Rice.
Brandon Tate deep for Cincinnati. Booming kick by Cook. Floats out of bounds. And this won't be bad field position for the Cincinnati Bengals.
We have seen some misfires in the punting game today on both sides.
All the way up to the 44-yard line.
You like to pin that return guy. You like to pin him between the numbers and the sidelines, but boy, when it goes bad, it can cost you a lot of yardage.
That goes up and down as a 36-yard punt.
And you can see that other than the one big drive by Cincinnati that ended in a touchdown, they've been pretty much throttled by the Baltimore defense.
So Andy Dalton with room to work. 3:21 to play here in the first half. This is Benson. Wrapped up at the 46 by Haloti Ngata and Jarrett Johnson.
Haloti Ngata. Never forget the first time I met him. It's a pretty amazing experience. It might be the largest. I used to think Jonathan Ogden was certainly the tallest, but not blocks the sun when you're talking to him. And such an athlete. That's what I marvel at.
Dalton pulls it down on the move and throws it away.
Well, that's one of the things that Andy Dalton can do. He's athletic. He's comfortable on the move, but then it's really the decision making that he undergoes at the end of his athletic move to get out in space. He makes good, solid decisions, and he is conservative. He will throw it away. Marvin Lewis says sometimes we wish he'd let the play develop a little more.
3rd and 8. Dalton over the middle, behind his intended receiver Gresham.
Oh, Brandon Ayanbadejo running with Gresham, and there was no chance of Dalton completing that.
And for the 4th time on 7 offensive possessions, Cincinnati 3 and out. I'll tell you this, Hubert better get off a decent kick here. He does. Full kick call for and made by Ladarius Webb.
Well, I wouldn't call that a Pro Bowl punt.
No.
But compared to
in recent history, it's great.
Agreed.
Hey, tomorrow on an all-new day from CBS News, Gayle King plus Ty Burrell. And later this week, Justin Bieber, followed by The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, only CBS. I know Justin Bieber gets your attention, doesn't he? You're there.
The thought of being in the front row for one of his concerts is just overwhelming to me.
2:27 to play in the first half.
We talked about what a changeover for the Ravens offense after a sluggish start.
Flacco with the screen. Rice, running room. Out to 30 and a first down.
Well, this is a really good screen team because Rice is a really good screen back. First of all, he's short enough that he gets lost. When he hides in there behind one of his offensive linemen, he's hard to find, but he's just got really good instincts running the screen.
With that, we come to 2 minutes to play. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Baltimore with the football and the lead. We'll do that. Looks like he wants to play, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, Ray Lewis sitting there next to Donnell Ellerby. Now, those are the facts that he's not playing today and hasn't missed a game in a long time. But, you know, with the Ravens having to turn right around and play on Thanksgiving night, the big game against the 49ers, the question now is, will Ray be ready for that game?
On first down, Flacco under pressure, got rid of it, incomplete.
Well, sometimes there's no substitute for being a big, strong guy.
Brandon Johnson had a hold of him and couldn't bring him down.
And that was smart football by Joe Flacco, finding an eligible receiver, this time in Ray Rice, getting away from it, staying alive, and getting it close enough that he avoids the intentional grounding. That's just smart football by Joe Flacco.
Flacco empties the backfield on 2nd and 10 and throws for Rice, incomplete. Ran right into traffic. Thomas Howard was there. Boy, these Bengals really love the play of Thomas Howard, don't they?
Well, they really do, and they just it allowed them to do something that was really key to what Mike Zimmer wanted to do on defense, and that's get Mauluga back in the middle. He played on the outside, so by getting a couple good edge guys and Howard and Manny Lawson on the other side, that puts Mauluga back in the middle where he belongs, a big physical middle linebacker.
Two deep threats on the field now for Baltimore, Evans and Torrey Smith. Flacco going to throw underneath, but Smith up the middle. Smith dropped down inside the 45-yard line.
There's a horse collar here.
Lots of flags thrown on the play.
Well, we'll look at it closely, but from up here. Now, Torrey Smith has got a lot of hair hanging out there. You're allowed to grab the hair.
There is no foul for an illegal horse collar tackle. The tackle was made by grasping the hair of the runner. The hair is not considered to be part of the uniform. First down.
Well, it's awfully tough for an official to see it, but boy, you can see it. Pac-Man goes out there and he comes away with nothing but the hair of Torrey Smith. And I don't know what that feels like, but it can't be great.
First down now and going deep. That ball is overthrown. Intended for Torrey Smith.
I got to wonder if that's not a touchdown if Torrey Smith has shorter hair. And at first from up here, the way that Smith turned all the way around, you suspected horse collar, and that's what the officials on the field thought as well.
And more than one official, too. I counted 3 flags.
Yeah, there were 3 of them out there.
So it's 2nd and 10 with 1:32 to play. Flacco, intercepted. Picked off by Nate Clements.
I am looking at that unfold from up here, and when I see Joe leaning that direction, I'm going, he is not really going to let that go, is he? he's not really going to throw this pass because Clements is underneath Dixon the whole way. And Joe, he's looking right at him. Wow, that's just one of those head scratchers. It's not like he just materialized out of some trapdoor and showed up in front of Ed Dixon. He was there the whole time.
So now the Bengals with the ball and 1:24 on the clock. Dalton this side, and that's complete. Jerome Simpson, and a nice job, make the catch. Coming up, a reminder, the Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, and the coach, and special guest Houston Texans All-Pro running back Arian Foster. We'll have all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
Arian Foster wins the Fashion Award, doesn't he?
And that's in a tough crowd.
Now, that's in a tough crowd, but that plaid sport coat he's wearing, very holiday, very festive. By the way, what a catch by Simpson. He's putting on a little show.
On 2nd and 3, Dalton over the middle. Wide open to Leonard out of the backfield. Leonard across midfield to the 46-yard line. Jameel McClain with the stop. Clock keeps moving. Coming up on a minute to play here in the second half.
And of course, anytime anything happens in the middle of the Raiders defense, the fans are, I'm sure, going, well, that couldn't have happened if Ray was playing.
Dalton, once again, out of the backfield, Leonard. And we'll have a timeout on the field here. Let's go back to that catch by Simpson.
Yeah, earlier this drive, just working the sidelines, and again, look at up, down, down. That's just full control of the football. That was nice work by Jerome Simpson, and when he elevates, you know, he's 6'2", but really long arms. He's up there grabbing a pass that's easily 10 feet, 11 feet off the ground.
He's 6'2". He looks like he plays at about 6'5" or 6'6".
He's got a vertical. That's the Cincinnati Bengals. No strangers to getting some points out of the last couple minutes of either the half or the end of the game.
Here's their situation. 48 seconds on the clock.
And again, keep in mind, that's with a rookie quarterback. That's when they're supposed to be at their worst, isn't it?
Got rid of the ball on the blitz. Leonard to the sideline.
Good tackle that time by Pollard, keeping him in bounds, keeping the clock running.
Cincinnati wanting to save that last timeout. 3rd and 6. Dalton on the move, gonna go deep to the end zone, and intercepted.
Well, Andy Dalton, there's your first lesson about number 20. Don't hang anything up down the middle of the field, because number 20 will find it. We were talking to Andy Dalton about Ed Reed.
Specifically asked him about him.
Yep. You cannot hang the ball in the air. It gives him way too much time to come in. He's playing center field, and with his ball skills, that is a 10 times out of 10 that Ed Reed's going to make that pick.
That's his 3rd interception of this season.
Well, normally it was Carson Palmer that Ed Reed would torment, but Andy Dalton just learned a rookie lesson.
So with that need, time will expire here in the first half. Cincinnati got on the board first. Baltimore came roaring back with 2 touchdowns. And we come to the end of the first half in this very, very important AFC North game. Baltimore 14, Cincinnati 7. Coming back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Benson to the end zone. Touchdown. That's Bolden. Touchdown. Pulled in downfield by Jerome Simpson. But here is Ray Rice standing up for the touchdown. And welcome back to Baltimore, everyone, as we get set for the start of the second half. Baltimore with a one-touchdown lead at 14-7 over Cincinnati. And take a look now at the NFL Mobile Recap presented by Verizon, Dan.
Well, the Ravens not afraid to go long. They show run out of that formation, and then one of the fastest receivers in football, he gets behind the defense, and just a perfect throw from Joe Flacco. But that was the setup then for Ray Rice behind great blocking off the right side. He just goes into the end zone completely untouched.
It is a one-touchdown game as we welcome you back. Greg Gumbel along with Dan Deerdorf. Again, you can't say enough about how important this game is to both these teams in the whole AFC North picture, and I would expect the second half here, Dan, is going to be really physical.
Oh, I would. Well, that's every game between these two. But really, the Ravens have a chance to really assert themselves and take complete control of this division. They've already beaten the Steelers twice, so they own the tiebreaker there. And now this would give them one game up on Cincinnati with one game against the Bengals still to come. So a lot at stake here, especially for the guys at Baltimore that, a lot of us think have a good chance of being the #1 seed in the AFC.
Baltimore will get their hands on the football first here in the second half. Chris Carr is deep. Baltimore fans will notice that David Reed is inactive today. He fumbled twice last week at Seattle on kickoff return. This is Carr, and he won't run it out. So Flacco and company will start from their own 20-yard line. Let's take a look at some first half numbers. And Baltimore started slowly, particularly Flacco, but certainly picked it up as the first half went on, Dan.
Well, and they do have a little more balance today. They got 12 runs, 19 passes. They knew going into this game they were going to run it more, but they also knew there were some big plays to be had because of the secondary of the Bengals dealing with some injuries and some new people. So
odds were they had to run it more today, didn't they?
They couldn't have run it less, I guess is your point. But boy, they overcame a really sloppy beginning.
Flacco comes out throwing on first down. This is Rice, and Rice wrapped up at the line of scrimmage for no gain by Manny Lawson.
Well, that just never had a chance to develop. That's one of those deals where Ray Rice would like to be able to jump back to the inside behind his blockers that are coming out to block for him, but instead he ends up having to go to the outside. So Dixon just not able to help anyway.
We mentioned Thomas Howard late in the first half, but Manny Lawson's play has also been exemplary for the Bengals defense on the outside. This is Rice, and Rice is hit for no gain in the backfield by Frosty Rucker.
Well, this is an 8-man rotation on the defensive line that the Bengals will throw at you. They are in and out. They are trying to stay fresh. They all can get after the quarterback, some of them better than others. They got some specialists like Carlos Dunlap and Rucker who really are solid pass rushers, but as we saw right there, capable of playing the run really well too.
If you're wondering how Rice compares to last week he carried 5 times for 27 yards. Today, 7 for 17.
Well, it's nice that he's carrying that often, but the lack of production is not good.
Flacco over the middle. There's a penalty marker down. That's complete to Torrey Smith.
Offside. Defense number 93 lined up in the neutral zone. That penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down.
Michael Johnson guilty of maybe the
strangest of plays. Yeah, in tennis they just call that an unforced error. Just lining up in the neutral zone. It's really not that hard to stay out of there.
The ball doesn't move.
No, he didn't jump in there. He just lined up.
Straight ahead, Ray Rice. Rice off to the races. 15, 10, brought down at about the 6-yard line. Adam Jones finally caught him from behind.
Well, that's why you keep running the football, because you hope sooner or later a big play is going to be there. Look at the vision of Ray Rice, and he cuts back, and Marshall Yanda, his right guard, gives him a nice crease. He cut off the backside flow, and Ray Rice cuts right up into that alley. That was really nicely done by the guys up front.
This is Rice again. Back to the line of scrimmage.
And kudos to Cam Cameron for keep coming after it in the running game. Again, let's look at it. But you see Yanda there, number 73. He's going to get a seal. Michael Orr got a seal. A good surge on the front side.
And Chris Crocker just plain old missed a tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Well, tackling in the NFL right now is not exactly what I would call an all-time high. This will not be known as the era of great tackling.
On second and goal, Rice.
Vontae Leach brings it. Ray Rice was so excited to get a true fullback in front of him, and Vontae Leach is a thunderous blocker. Here he comes in and he's bam, he just gets a big hit on Dan Skuta. Rice says that he'll just say, follow me. Skuta has no chance after absorbing that heavy block from Leach of turning around and getting back in on the play.
Third and goal. Play fake. Flacco gonna run it. And down at the 4. Geno Atkins with the play.
Now that was an all or nothing play action, and when Joe Flacco couldn't find anything, the chances of him scampering in for a touchdown are somewhere between
Joe doesn't scamper.
Slim and ultra slim.
Joe doesn't scamper. So coming on is Billy Cundiff for what will be a 22-yard field goal attempt. Kick is on the way and good. And with 10:50 to play in the third period, Baltimore extends its lead. Well, with 159-yard burst by Ray Rice, Baltimore's rushing statistics are looking pretty good for the day.
Well, again, you don't ever have a chance of breaking a long one if you don't keep handing it off. And the Ravens showed, and we still have a lot of football to play, but at least they showed some consistency in attempting to run the ball. And Ray Rice, not a great straightaway speed guy, never was. And, you know, I'd still play him, though, even though he doesn't have the ability to take it all the way to the end zone. I wouldn't bench him.
Because you are the good-hearted type.
Yeah, really.
Brandon Tate deep for the kick. Won't get a chance to return this one. Yet another touchback. Andy Dalton now work to do.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
And I remind you, it's a doubleheader Sunday here on CBS. Coming up next, San Diego at Chicago against the Bears, or Tennessee at Atlanta against the Falcons. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Dalton and the Bengals, first down from their own 20-yard line. This is Benson. Can't find running room. Wrapped up by Bernard Pollard.
Well, Cincinnati has 7 points because they had one good drive, and there it is, their second one of the game. And before that and after that, a whole bunch of punts, and then right at the end of the first half, the Ed Reed interception. But Jay Gruden thought he had it all going early in this game when Andy Dalton was hitting everything, and they were catching everything on that first drive. And of course, no A.J. Green today. The talented receiver sitting it out.
On second and 9, Dalton out here, and that's complete to Colin Pritchard, the free agent rookie out of South Dakota State.
You know, the one thing about A.J. Green not playing is you thought that would hurt their ability to stretch the field, and there is Green. But, you know, they did stretch it with Jerome Simpson and he was able to make that good play down the sidelines. But hey, when you've got a game-changing receiver, and that's what A.J. Green already is, and boy, the future for that kid is very large.
Here's a big 3rd and 3 for Dalton. No blitz. Dalton with time and looking and throws, and he's got a man wide open, and that's Leonard. Leonard out of the backfield and out of bounds inside the Baltimore 40.
Jay Gruden I taught him how to do that. Wow, what a piece of work by Andy Dalton. All right, it's really only a 4-man rush, and the guys up front did a tremendous job. And 2 different times, Kerry Williams, first of all, he got knocked down, but then what a, staying alive. And then, as in every situation like that where the quarterback busts loose, one of the guys is responsible for going downfield.
Back to the ground game, and Benson up the middle to about the 32. Pretty good footwork by Dalton.
Well, we talked about his athleticism, and Kerry Williams just doesn't get, he got a graze along the left calf as he went by. But Brian Leonard did the right thing. One guy has got to head for the goal line and see if what happened. The defense lost it.
2nd and 6. Dalton. Wide open is Gresham. Gresham to the 10. Leaping inside the 10. To about the 8.
Well, Ed Reed, he's sore. He's got a bad shoulder. But this is just a blown coverage. Paul Kruger, number 99, he's underneath, and kind of a vain attempt there to jump up there and get it. Boy. Ed Reed comes in and really takes out the right leg of Gresham, who does some job of holding on to the football.
1st and goal from the 8. This is Benson. Benson dancing his way inside the 5 to about the 3.
Well, Andy Dalton created the first play by staying alive for so long. The Ravens and Chuck's defense created the second one by blown coverage, because Jermaine Gresham was just left all alone, and Dalton, I don't think he could have missed him if he tried.
Second and goal. Benson. Touchdown Bengals. Cedric Benson, his 2nd touchdown run of the day. And with the extra point, will pull the Bengals to within a field goal.
It's just old-fashioned football right there. This is power football. And the Bengals offensive line, what a surge they got up front. Look at that. Purple shirts getting pushed all the way back into the end zone. Nothing fancy about that at all.
Mike Nugent on for the extra point. And a much-needed drive on offense for the Bengals. A 7-play, 80-yard drive. Jay Gruden, offensive coordinator, looks at his young quarterback, says, nice job. 6:51 to play here in the 3rd quarter, and Andy Dalton engineered a much-needed offensive drive, Dan, for the Cincinnati Bengals, because they had clearly lost the momentum since early in the game.
Well, he bought so much time on that one scramble, but then he did get aided a little bit by the Ravens losing track of Jermaine Gresham. And then when they, had to muscle up right on the goal line, they got pushed back into the end zone. That was, give some credit where it's due there to that front line of the Bengals. Their offensive line got it done.
Chris Carr, deep in his own end zone for the kick.
One thing about the NFL, you're never comfortable for very long, are you? 17-7, it seemed mighty tidy, and then all of a sudden,
it's not tidy anymore.
It's not.
Carr will not run this one out. The ball will come out to the 20-yard line. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, We will have a conversation, visit with one Mr. Jack Harbaugh right after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Miller Lite Home Draft. Taste greatness. And by Viagra.
Welcome back to Baltimore, everyone. First down for the Ravens at their own 20-yard line. Baltimore with a 17-14 lead, 6:51 to play in the third quarter. And Flacco going to start this one off on the ground. Ricky Williams for a couple. And we are pleased to welcome into the booth with us Jack Harbaugh, who was head coach at Western Kentucky, but I think you're known around these parts for a little bit more than that as the man who is the head coach's father here.
Well, we're excited to be here. I wish I'd have been here about 10-15 minutes before that long drive. I think I'd have enjoyed myself a lot more.
It's just rumor to you.
If Archie Manning is the first father of NFL players, you're the NFL's first father of coaches. I mean, two sons, both of whom head coaches in the National Football League.
My wife Jackie and I are tremendously blessed, and to happen on Thanksgiving is even more for us.
This is a screen to Ricky Williams, and Williams is knocked out of bounds across the 25-yard line. It strikes me that with your two sons going head-to-head on Thanksgiving night, you're probably the only person who dreads Thanksgiving.
No question about it. We found a way. We will not be in the stadium during the ball game, I promise you. We're going to find some quiet, secluded place where Jackie and I can enjoy the game without anybody watching or us interfering in any way.
How can you enjoy it at all? I mean, seriously, I mean, you're going to feel bad for somebody when it's over.
No question. That's the first one we're going to go find, is that one that didn't win the ball game.
Flacco on the slant. That's incomplete.
Jack, I've known you for a long time, and we, Ann Arbor connections here. When did you first have an inkling that the boys might end up being coaches?
Our experience in Ann Arbor was really special. Bo Schembechler, Millie, his wife, talked Bo into bringing the kids around the facility. So they got to know the players. They got to lift some weights. They got to be out on the practice field, throw some balls around. So that was the first time we knew they had that love for football.
And John, I know, graduated from Pioneer right across the street, right?
Right across the street, and played at Miami of Ohio with Tom Reed, another Michigan man.
This is Brandon Tate on the receiving end of this, and he has a fair catch called for and made at the 23-yard line. Coach, what kind of traits did you think that you passed on to the guys to be decent head coaches?
I don't think much. I think most of their training for coaching came from my wife, Jackie. I mean, she has a spirit. She has a love for sport. I think I was busy coaching other people's youngsters, and she was coaching our kids, so she deserves all the credit.
Now let me get this right. They both send you. You get on Tuesday morning, you get copies of the game film from both of the teams, and you sit and you break them down?
Look at every single one of them, up and down, write some notes, and then hope someone calls and asks for some advice.
That's what you told me before. You said nobody calls and asks your opinion.
That's the problem. No one calls.
Oh, come on. That's not fair.
I'd like to see your invoices. This is Andy Dalton throwing to the near sideline, and that's complete. Coach, we thank you for taking the time to stop by.
Thank you so much.
And seriously, we don't envy you on Thanksgiving night, because that has to mean one of the most heart-rending things that any man can go through.
No question about it. And Dan, we share the love and respect for one Bo Schembechler.
Oh, you know that.
We both had to learn with him.
When I see Jim and John, I just think how proud he would be.
No question about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here, Coach.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Jack Harbaugh. Although you wonder, Dan, is it going to be a happy Thanksgiving?
Well, it's going to. John Harbaugh, his Thanksgiving will be a lot better if he gets Ray Lewis back by Thursday. That's for sure. And it'll be happier if they somehow win this game. But that last drive by Cincinnati has really brought a focus to this. 17-7. It looked like they were starting to get a little comfortable. And bam, they're right back in it.
2nd and 10. They'll throw it back to Dalton, and that's incomplete. And
that's a backward pass, it looked like. Well, now the official on that side is saying, no, it's not.
It sure looked it from here.
Well, I will say this, the one linesman was right there. Let's take a look at where this ball gets released. It was really close, but the official right there, and he ruled it no. He's calling it an incomplete pass.
And now here is Dalton throwing far side of the field, incomplete. And that'll force the kick.
A good work by the Ravens defense.
All of a sudden there is an outbreak of left-handed throwing running backs. We saw Ray Rice throw one.
Yeah, that
last week.
Well, yeah, but it was for a touchdown.
Yes, it was. 7th punt of the day by the Bengals. Webb deep at his own 25. Fair catch call for him, made at about the 30 or the 31. We have 4:02 to play in the third. It's a 3-point game.
Ooh, thank you.
4:02 to play in the third quarter here in Baltimore. 17-14 Ravens. Baltimore ball at the 32. This is Rice. Wrapped up just short of the 35-yard line by Manny Lawson and Chris Crocker. Keeping track of the ground game for Ray Rice, 11 carries for 83 yards and the touchdown.
Well, and he got the one big run, and other than that, it's been tough sledding, but not to be surprised. Two of the best defenses in football here today.
Rice again, running room right side, breaks it free, penalty marker flies, he's down inside the 40-yard line. And it's going to come back.
Personal foul, illegal crackback, offense, number 82. 15-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That nullifies a 26-yard run.
I believe Torrey Smith had a penalty that brought back a long run by Ray Rice a couple weeks ago. All right, coming in. Well, I couldn't see it from that angle where it happened. But there's Smith right there. Yeah, and he comes down and goes low. And you've got to stay above the waist if you are coming in off the edge.
Flacco with time and threw it low to Ricky Williams out of the backfield. We have a chance to go back to New York. JB.
A completely different Lions team, Coach.
14 unanswered points, JB. The second touchdown being his Tony Sheffer, 17 yards from Matthew Stafford. And now the Detroit Lions take the lead 28-27.
Stafford, second half, 5 of 6, 73 yards, 2 touches. Wow. Back to Greg and Dan.
You know, Dan, I go all the way back to the preseason. We saw that same bad dance from Tony Sheffer. Do you remember?
Yes, I do. Hasn't gotten any better.
No, it hasn't.
Stafford's wearing gloves with that hand injury.
On 3rd and 20. Flacco, short pass, Ricky Williams. Williams straight ahead to about the 35, and we have another penalty marker in the backfield.
Well, if this is a hold or anything like that, I'm sure they'll decline it.
Holding, offense number 74. 10-yard penalty, repeat third down.
Well, they are going to go ahead and make them do it again. It would have brought up a 4th down in a punting situation. Michael Orr, number 74, right there working against Carlos Dunlap. Well, I've seen a lot worse than that. That wasn't when Michael Orr is kind of saying, what was that all about? I think he's got a case. That wasn't
egregious.
No, far from it. Well,
Bengals going backwards on this drive. They've lost 20 yards.
Well, Marvin Lewis better hope that they don't convert this 3rd down.
Quick pass out here. Torrey Smith. Smith, 25, 30. And out to about the 33-yard line, and that'll force the punt.
Now you're basically back to where you were before. Well, at least a decent amount of yardage picked up by the Ravens that time. They should be able to pin Cincinnati back, not giving them too short a field.
Sam Cook coming on. This has been less than a punting clinic here today. That was pretty good, though. We get a penalty flag. And this is from Brandon Tate. And Tate gets wrestled down and out of bounds at about the 22.
Well, I know that Danny Gore, the gunner on this side for the Ravens, was way into the Ravens bench.
This is going to be against the Bengals.
Once a guy gets out of bounds, you've got to give him a chance to get back in. He, on the other hand, has to work to get back in.
During the kick, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 27, the receiving team, blocking an opposing player who's out of bounds. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
That was Jabril Wilson, and that was the infraction you were talking about, Dan.
It's the most American game play. When we graduate, we'll be on the same team. But when we're on that field, we do not like each other.
They're there for a special reason. It's not just about the football.
That's a game of honor premiering December 21st only on Showtime, and a special behind-the-scenes look December the 3rd on CBS.
I had the honor of calling an Army-Navy game in 2001, not long after 9/11, and it was had a chance to go to both to West Point and Annapolis and have lunch with the cadets and the midshipmen. It was a wonderful experience.
The penalty backs the Bengals up to their own 8-yard line. This is Scott turning the corner. Whitworth in front of him. Down the sideline and out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Boy, Terrell Suggs thought he had this thing destroyed in the Cincinnati backfield. There he is, 55. Look at him blow up field. And that little down block was just enough. Jerome Simpson, the wide receiver, got enough of a rub on Suggs to keep him from destroying the play. Boy, he got up and he was frustrated.
New set of downs now at the 26. Make it the 27-yard line. And Reed coming in untouched made the play.
Well, you hear people talk about so much of blitzing is about timing, and that was impeccable timing by Ed Reed. He times the snap count. Look, here he comes, and then look, he's in a position to knife parallel down the line of scrimmage. And for a guy with a bad shoulder who told me the other day it just hurts to wrap up. That's one of those beforehand you go, this is going to hurt, but you do it anyway.
Dalton on 2nd and 8 now. That pass intercepted. Thrown right at Jimmy Smith, and now the ball pops free. Scramble for the ball inside the 5. He's got it.
Brandon Iron Badesio certainly has it now, and he officially gets credit for it. And Ron Winter, the official, is down on his knees. The referee, Ron Winter, not up yet. Well, it was a rookie mistake followed by another rookie mistake, because Jimmy Smith was carrying that football away from his body and didn't feel coming from behind. Simpson popped it out.
And Ron Winter just got buried. Oh.
And then, of course, he's underneath the scrum going for the football, and Ron Winter all but disappears.
He looks like he's okay. And the end result is 1st and goal for the Ravens from the 2.
Well, Andy Dalton makes his first big mistake of the day. And there goes Ron Winter as he lands hard and lands right on the football. The football's actually between his shoulder blades right there.
1st and goal. Rice. Touchdown Baltimore. Rice is 2nd of the day.
Andy Dalton looking at the pictures from above, trying to figure out where Jimmy Smith came from. He undercut the route.
That was as much of a gift as Flacco presented the Bengals with earlier.
It was, I'm not sure it was quite that bad. But it was right to him. No question.
Jimmy Smith didn't move much.
No, he didn't. I guess there was just a little more traffic in the area.
Thunder with the extra point. And Baltimore back to a 10-point lead.
Great surge. Boy, but that was well done again. Marshall Yanda is just kicking some butt here today. Marshall Yanda at the point of attack. He's all the way back into the end zone. Look at him, number 73 in the upper left, and Ray Rice puts a shoulder. That is called following your blocker. Marshall Yanda, a really good offensive guard. Yeah, that's offensive linemen love that. They love being able to stuff it into the end zone on short yards like that. That's just basic physical football.
Meanwhile, Andy Dalton, he's not going quite the way they're supposed to so far today. And Cincinnati now down by 10 once again. Half a minute to play here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, Andy Dalton isn't the first quarterback to come to Baltimore and have a tough day against this defense.
Nor will he be the last.
No, that's a fairly common occurrence. And it's still just a 10-point game with a full quarter to play.
That's Brandon Tate in the end zone. Billy Cundiff has been pounding these out of the end zone all day long. And that's another touchback.
Well, Andy Dalton's day, it's been a mixed bag. Started off the day with that throw to Simpson right along the sideline, and this was right towards the end of the first half, but you don't challenge the middle of the field with Ed Reed there. And then the last one, again, Jimmy Smith, heads up play to make the interception, and then Jimmy Smith got saved by Brendan Ian-Badejo, recovering the fumble that kept the Ravens in great scoring position.
For first down, this is Cedric Benson, and Benson with a hole on the left side. Out across the 25 to about the 28, maybe the 29-yard line. Terrell Suggs with the stop, and that appears that might be the last play here in the 3rd quarter. We'll see.
Well, Cincinnati's got enough time to run one if they choose. They're coming up to the line. When you're behind, you should take advantage of trying to run every play you can.
We will get this play off, and we give this to Benson once again. And Benson across the 30 for a first down, and that's how we come to the end of the 3rd quarter. That's the end of 3, and there's our score, 24-14 Ravens. We're back to Baltimore after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Along with our producer, Mark Wolf, our director, Bob Fishman, Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, the Cincinnati Bengals in need of a 4th quarter. And they've excelled in this quarter during the season. They've outscored the opponents 87-43 coming in. On first down, Dalton with the keeper.
Oh my gosh, they're running the option.
It is recovered back there by Andrew Hawkins.
Oh, Jay Gruden has been watching
Tim
Tebow and the Broncos. Are you, did I really just see this? Andy Dalton trying to run the option? Well, he did a nice job of setting up the defense. Not a very good job on the pitch.
All told, 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8.
Might put that one away for a while.
Ball controlled, sideline. It is intercepted. Picked off by Ladarius Webb. And what an interception that was.
Wow. Right in front of the Ravens bench.
That's an unbelievable catch.
I am dying to get a look at this. From the end zone behind Andy Dalton. And look at Webb, and what a fantastic job of securing the football. Look at him pull it into his chest, hit the ground, and hold on to it. Well, I mentioned earlier, that's his 3rd interception of the year. I mentioned earlier about Webb having good hands. You know, there are a lot of defensive backs that the reason they're defensive backs is they can't catch. He's not one of them.
Flacco going deep. Smith, touchdown.
Well, that was really close with Torrey Smith getting both feet down in the end zone because he was going full stride. Oh, what a luxury to have a guy who can run by just about any defensive back in football. And the safety right there, Chris Crocker, Reggie Nelson, they have no chance. And 2 feet down. And Joe Flacco throws a perfect strike. Now this is, where does he have complete possession of the football? The right foot's down. The 2nd foot is inbounds. I think the whole issue is whether or not he had complete control of the football when the right foot was down in the end zone.
Ron Winter awaits work from upstairs, and it's good.
It is a touchdown. Bombs away.
Cundiff with the extra point. Baltimore with some breathing room. 14:02 to play in the 4th quarter. Torrey Smith on the receiving end of the bomb from Joe Flacco. It's amazing in the National Football League how the sour taste from one weekend can turn into such sweet feelings the following week.
Well, look how quickly it can turn. Interception and a 1-play touchdown drive.
Biggest lead of the day for Baltimore, 31-14. Still most of the 4th quarter still to be played. Brandon Tate hoping to get a chance to return one. And he won't. Let's go back to that touchdown play.
Well, first of all, it's a running formation. Again, they're in the eye, 2 tight ends. But here's Smith right here who just but see these 2 guys? They're called safeties. You know why they're called safeties? Because nobody's supposed to get behind them. Well, so much for that. Torrey Smith splits them. A perfect throw from Joe Flacco. And the speed of Torrey Smith is just more than a lot of secondaries can handle. And right there, the Bengals looked flat-footed. And there's Chris Crocker. They were playing run all the way. They had 8 guys up towards the line of scrimmage. A run formation all the way. Well-designed play by the Ravens.
Here's Andy Dalton now. His last 2 passes have been picked off. From the shotgun, far side of the field. And that one is complete and out of bounds to Jerome Simpson, to JB and the coach in New York.
Nip and tuck in Green Bay.
This be the day, Greg and Dan. Watch this touchdown pass. Josh Freeman, Mike Williams on the slant. and Tampa Bay goes for the two-point conversion to Kellen Winslow. He drops the ball, 21-19 Green Bay.
Drama in Green Bay. Back to Greg and Dan.
All right, guys, thank you. And we get a penalty, flag, and a procedure call against the Bengals.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Well, you can see that Baltimore, with those 3 takeaways, has gotten 2 touchdowns off of it. And the lone time that Cincinnati got one, that they weren't able to do anything with it. It's a young team that Marvin Lewis has.
On 1st and 15, Dalton under pressure, over the middle, got his man across the 45. Jerome Simpson still on his feet, and now down at about the 47-yard line. And once again, back to JV and the coach in New York.
No give up in Washington.
And did Dallas find their third receiver? Laurent Robinson. Watch this. Romo's going to find him. He stepped up since Miles Austin's out. 3rd down, complete. Now it's 17-17 in Washington.
As the rivalry goes, back to Greg and Dan.
All right, guys, thank you. Andy Dalton, the throwing, and that is complete to Gresham inside the 35. And we have a marker in the backfield.
Oh, it looks like it's going to be holding. Ron Winter gives the preliminary call.
Holding. Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. Complete first down.
That's Mr. Whitworth.
That's Andrew Whitworth. There he is right there, the left tackle. Oh, and he puts his arm clear across the face of Paul Kruger. Kruger did a good job of getting to his inside. Whitworth didn't have much choice but to hold it.
Paul Kruger, a quarterback in his days at Utah.
Not the normal career path to a linebacker.
1st and 20. Ed Reed about 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. Dalton throwing, and that is complete to about the 47-yard line to Jermaine Gresham. Good hands on the play.
You see so many good things from Dalton. Good accurate throws, but those 3 interceptions against 0 touchdown passes is a really glaring mistake.
Dalton, and that's Leonard out of the backfield, hit almost immediately by number 53, Jameel McClain.
And right now, Jameel McClain trying to play the role of Ray Lewis, really trying to bark out at his teammates and trying to get them to get excited about this 3rd and long.
Ravens fans now to their feet. Dalton down the sideline, has his man wide open, and he's got him! Andre Caldwell for the touchdown!
Oh, the rookie Jimmy Smith, he got beaten and beaten badly. We knew that Jimmy Smith was going to get a lot more playing time. And that he got the interception last time around, but this time he's out there all by himself. And he has been had by about a good 2 yards. And Andy Dalton, one more time. How perfect is that pass?
49 yards for the touchdown.
Andre Caldwell doesn't even have to adjust to that football at all. Just keep running on the straight line, and the ball came right to him.
Extra point is good.
Cincinnati, Greg, they won't go away.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. The Philips Norelco Senso Touch 3D, a great shave, dry or wet with gel or foam. And by the Droid Razor, thin is no longer frail, only at Verizon.
That 49-yard touchdown pass, the longest scoring play allowed by the Ravens this season. And this is the 4th straight game now that they've allowed 20 or more points to the opposition.
Well, it's a new adversary that the Ravens are facing. It's the same Bengals uniforms, but no Carson Palmer, or no Chad Ochocinco, or no Terrell Owens. But it's the same rough and tumble physical football team.
Darius Webb will not return this one. He'll take a knee, and they'll start at the 20-yard line when we come back. 10:59 to play in regulation. Welcome back to this bastion of sartorial splendor. Which half do you want more, Dan?
Hey, I just love fans who get into it. But I do give props to the guy for actually dyeing his mustache.
This is Rice. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Yeah, let's go back and look at it one more time, and it is just single coverage all the way. Here's Jimmy Smith right here. Here's Caldwell, but no safeties anywhere in the middle of the field. And I have to think that Jimmy Smith is guessing on the route, because he does not play like there's any possibility that Caldwell is just going to streak down the sideline and run a go pattern. And it looked like it completely surprised him, or he acted like he had safety help over the top, which he did not.
This is Rice again. To about the 27.5-yard line, where Frosty Rucker was the first to hit him. And Vontae Leach making his presence felt.
Well, Vontae Leach is a tough guy. He needs to get back in the huddle. All right, point made. The Ravens were really thrilled to sign this free agent from the Texans. And the Texans were sorry he left. They wanted to keep Vontae Leach, but they couldn't compete financially, or chose not to compete with the offer the Ravens made.
On 33, Rice not going to get the first down. Domata Peko.
Well, Peko is the leader of that defensive line, and you know they're not much of a read and react group. You can see that they blow up field, they penetrate gaps and creases, and they try to disrupt blocking patterns. And this group, they are stout, and that is a compliment.
So Brandon Tate is deep for the kick. Was a good one by Cook. And that's going to float out of bounds. Well, you talk about trials for a rookie quarterback. Down 10 in Baltimore to the rough, tough Bengal defense.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Toyota. And by Subway. Try November's featured $5 footlong chicken marinara melt.
On first down. Dalton's pass batted down on the far side of the field by Kerry Williams. That last touchdown throw just kind of cements what we've known about Andy Dalton, that he's pretty good for a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, look at that company. Now, this is through their first 10 career games played, not necessarily the first 10 games of their rookie season. You can see Dan Marino is out front, but that's anytime you're in any graphic that involves Marino and Manning,
you're okay.
Good place to be.
Second and 10. Give us to Leonard. Leonard down at about the 23.
Yeah, good job by Jimmy Smith, the corner, coming in there and sticking his face in it, making a good tackle.
And here come the Ravens fans.
Well, this is a situation where Chuck Pagano more aggressive than his predecessor, Greg Madison, in terms of loving to bring pressure. Let's see if he chooses to do so here. Cluster formation at the top.
Dalton throwing, and is incomplete. Penalty marker flies.
Well, Webb hit him early. He just looked like he lost his orientation out there.
And this will be a Cincinnati first down.
That didn't even look like that had a chance of being completed. And
pass interference. Defense number 21. Penalizing the spot of the foul. First down.
You can see right there that Webb didn't know where the football was, and he didn't know where Simpson was.
Ball was underthrown.
Yeah, and the ball was underthrown, and Simpson adjusts to it. Webb does not. And, you know, that's interference all the way. It's just, he just lost track of the football and the receiver.
New set of downs for Dalton.
Other than that, it was okay.
From the 47. Little pump fake, throwing over the middle, and that's caught by Jermaine Gresham inside the 40-yard line. Boy, what a great pair of hands he has.
Boy, and Ed Reed and Jameel McClain, both a little worse for wear. The two guys making the play on Gresham. And boy, I tell you, Gresham not afraid to be in traffic. Nice little pump fake there by Dalton.
Dalton on the move, gonna run it, and sliding down at about the 27-yard line.
And Jameel McClain, his arm is really bothering him. Before the last play, he was really trying to move that thing around to get it to work right.
First down, Bengals, now at the Baltimore 27. Dalton, far side. That was complete, loose ball, and it is ruled incomplete. Andre Caldwell had it, couldn't hold it long enough for it to be a catch.
Well, he delivers the ball right there. That was really, really close to being a completed pass and a fumble. That was really, really close. It looked like Caldwell took 2 steps after securing that ball.
On second and 10, little pump fake. Dalton going to his left, and he's going to run it. And is out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. And that's still another Cincinnati first down.
Boy, and Andrew Whitworth told us how competitive Andy Dalton is, whether it was playing golf or just about anything. Boy, you got a little taste of it right there. You saw him yelling at his teammates after he ran for that first down. I think we're gonna be looking at Andy Dalton playing good football in this league for a long time.
This is Leonard. Stood up by McClain at about the 25. As we come up on 6.5 to play in regulation.
And again, this is the kind of a time where the defense needs to make a stand, and boy, you really miss the emotional foundation of Ray Lewis that you get to stand upon in a situation like this. He can't do anything for you over on the sidelines with the bad right foot.
Third trip into the red zone for the Bengals. Touchdowns their previous 2 times. Far side of the field, that's complete to Simpson, and Simpson is out of bounds. Just inside the 10 at the 9.
Well, Chuck Pagano, the defensive coordinator, and now Jay Gruden, the offensive coordinator of Cincinnati. There's another guy that, you know, obviously the Gruden bloodline, but a real background in the Arena League, and his first shot at really running the show in an NFL setting. He's here to stay too, I think.
3rd and 2. Dalton going to throw for it. That one is caught. Touchdown! Gresham.
Wow, at first glance, I thought when Gresham finally got control of the ball that he was out of bounds. Did he manage to stay in bounds the whole time he was juggling that ball? There's the catch. Where does he? Yes, he did.
That's a touchdown.
He did. From the far side of the field where we are, I'm looking at that going, is that athletically possible to stay in bounds? But he has control of the football across the plane of the end zone.
And while it is reviewed upstairs, the fans here.
Now, first of all, you have to have both feet down with possession of the football.
Previous play is being reviewed.
Once he gets possession of the football, both of his feet have to be in play. So where does he get possession of the ball? Right there. And I don't. Yes, and there's the right foot down in the field of play. So it looks to me like he fulfills all the obligations of making a good catch.
Great hands. Great hands by Gresham.
There's possession, the left foot in, the right foot in. The ball crosses the plane.
You do the hokey pokey.
Where is the football? I mean, I'll tell you what. Keep in mind now, the ruling on the field was a touchdown. And we would have to see proof that is absolute for Ron Winter to overturn this. I am marveling at Jermaine Gresham's athleticism in what he was able to execute over there.
All day long. All day long. He's been exceptional.
Keep in mind that he's being hit. He's being pushed here by Kerry Williams.
So things come to a grinding halt here with 5:35 on the clock.
And it looks to me, it looked like he maintained possession of the ball even after landing on the field, landing on the ground. I don't, it's just the whole issue is where was that football in his possession? Did it cross the plane?
It's pretty clear that he had it in both hands.
Yes.
As he crossed the goal line.
Ron, again, we have to start with the fact that this has been ruled a touchdown on the field of play.
That's pretty obviously possession with one foot on the ground, and there's the right foot.
And, you know, from that angle, you know, it's
welcome to Baltimore, everyone. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, where a scoring play by the Cincinnati Bengals is under review. An Andy Dalton to Jermaine Gresham pass, which has been called a touchdown on the field, is being looked at by referee Ron Winter. Now, the other thing, Dan, was if he held possession all the way to the ground.
Well, again, let's take a look at it. Let's take one more look at it.
There's possession, and there's both feet, but the question is, does he hold on to it all the way to the ground?
This could be a little bit of the Calvin Johnson rule coming into play. Not that it's a rule, but when this ball touches the ground, you know what?
Wow.
Well, now that's the first time we've had a look at that. And in that one, the ball appears to separate from his hand a little bit. Now on that look,
You could
Every other angle that I looked at, it looked like he maintained possession of the football all the way through. That last look, you could see the ball come loose from his hand a little bit. He's got to maintain that all the way through.
Here's Ron Winter.
After review, when the receiver went to the ground, he lost control of the ball.
Those of you just joining us here in Baltimore, a touchdown pass has just been reversed.
And everything here, but from the other angles, when the football in his right hand touches the ground, it looks, you know, even that angle, it looks like he's still maintaining control. But here's the one right there. You can see it come a little loose from his hand, and it's on the ground. Well, that is really, that's instant replay, and that is a review that takes it down to the very micro inch.
So instead of the touchdown, on comes Mike Nugent to try to cut the Baltimore lead to a touchdown. And that field goal from 27 yards out is good. 5:32 to play here in the fourth quarter, and Baltimore's lead is now 31-24. Let's go back and look at it again.
Well, there it is. And again, remember, you've got to be able to hit the ground. The ball, if the ball touches the ground, it's got to be firmly in your grasp. And there is the look where you could see the nose of the ball is sitting on the ground and it appears to have separated from Jermaine Gresham's hand. And very reminiscent, I mentioned the Calvin Johnson play. You know, you're saying what is a catch and what is not a catch.
And here Calvin Johnson.
This was from a year ago, and he's got the catch and he puts the ball on the ground, but when the ball touches the ground, he had to hold on to it to make it a completed catch. And while this wasn't quite as easy to see as Calvin Johnson's, that one look there, I think that's the definitive look that Ron Winter was able to look at and say he did not keep 100% possession and control of the football.
So instead of a touchdown, Cincinnati settles for a field goal. 31-24 Baltimore, 5.5 to play. Both teams 3 timeouts remaining.
I just got to tell you, from every other look, I thought he maintained control of the ball.
This has been your very typical, predictable AFC North battle. Darius Webb will not get a chance to return this one. Baltimore will start from its own 20. Hey, the Home Depot SEC on CBS heats up the holiday. Friday, the Razorbacks tangle with the top-ranked LSU Bayou Bengals. Then on Saturday, rivals clash. The Crimson Tide of Alabama against Auburn. That's all coming up this weekend here on CBS.
Well, with all the chaos that took place in the BCS this weekend, I don't know how you make an argument that Alabama and LSU aren't the 2 best teams in the country, with LSU sitting at the top of the heap.
And both will be on CBS this coming weekend. Ray Rice, as the Bengal defense comes out with a little purpose. Key members of these teams not in action today. Ray Lewis, his streak of 57 straight starts snapped with a bad toe. A.J. Green hurt his knee in the game last week, sitting out today. On 2nd and 10, Flacco throws, Rice out of the backfield running, first down yardage and then some, out across the 35 to about the 37-yard line.
Boy, and that's trusting your quarterback and your receiver. You see the standings here in the North. Now keep in mind, if Baltimore wins this game, they'll have the same record as Pittsburgh, but they've beaten the Steelers twice, so they own the tiebreaker over Pittsburgh. The Browns won today. If Cincinnati were to win, then they move to 7-3, but Pittsburgh has beaten Cincinnati once. So Pittsburgh would have the leg up on the Bengals. Hey, that was a big conversion. Move the chains. Rice stays in bound, keeps the clock going.
Rice straight ahead to about the 38. Coming up on 4 minutes to play. As you take a look at the numbers today, Andy Dalton, 303 yards throwing, but 3 costly interceptions.
Yeah, he only had 9 on the season coming into this game. And they hurt because the Ravens got 14 points off those 3 interceptions.
Torrey Smith, huge career highs, 6 catches and 165 yards. This is Rice again. Rice, just across the 45-yard line, will be about a yard short of a first down.
This is where running the football is a mentality that you start working on the first day of training camp. It's a physical and a mental toughness, and it's for situations just like this, when you can protect the lead and hammer away with the football and keep possession.
Rice with 104 yards rushing, his third 100-yard rushing game of the season. 3rd and 1. Rice again. He didn't get there.
Well, the Bengals, they committed everything to stopping that. They had 9 guys within about 6 feet of the line of scrimmage. They are all wedged in here right now. They are. And there's one you can't see. They had 9 guys right up there, and the Ravens just not able to get much in the way of movement. They're going to bring out the chains and measure this.
2:39 on the clock. Fourth down.
Well, you can see it's about 1.5 feet. You can't possibly go for it.
And John Harbaugh won't. By the way, the big conversation all week was the Baltimore Ravens are going to continue to throw the football as much as they have in past weeks. They have thrown it 28 times today and run it 27 times.
Well, for those that were calling for balance, they got their wish.
Merry Christmas. Brandon Tate deep.
Bill first.
And I believe the Bengals have called timeout. So they use a timeout with 2:39 to play.
Well, because the Ravens ran the ball on that 3rd down attempt, even though they came out to measure it, they start the clock, and so the Ravens were in a position to run a whole bunch of time off the clock, so that's a good stoppage by Cincinnati.
You see there by that graphic, the Ravens are not in the habit of losing back-to-back games.
Well, that's a sign of a good football team. That's what good football teams do. They don't get on bad streaks. They might throw a clunker every now and then, but they recover quickly. I remember one of the Patriots Super Bowl years. They got beat 31-0 in the opening game by the Buffalo Bills. And then they went on and won the Super Bowl.
Good punts have not been a given here today. This is Cook. He got off a good one there. Tate going to let it bounce. And grabs it and is run out of bounds at about the 13-yard line.
Well, this game got off to a slow start, but then it heated up and away they went. Cedric Benson got the first touchdown for the Bengals. He jammed it in there. Then Ray Rice returned the favor. Then Andy Dalton, he had a lot of good completions. That pick to Ladarius Webb. That led to this Torrey Smith bomb from Joe Flacco. And then Caldwell, he gets by Jimmy Smith, the rookie corner. And that's how we end up in this position where it's up to the Ravens defense one more time to bring it home.
Cincinnati with a touchdown and a field goal in its last 2 drives. Andy Dalton from the 14. Gonna run it up the middle and down across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Go get another play off before the 2-minute warning. Dalton, that's complete. Out across the 40-yard line to Andrew Hawkins for a first down. And at 1:57 to play, we get the 2-minute warning. Lots to come here in Baltimore. 1 touchdown difference. We're coming back after this. Back in Baltimore, the Bengals coming off of a horrendous 4-12 season a year ago. There is so much more to like about this 2011 edition. Dalton, little pop over the middle is complete to midfield. Jerome Simpson airborne. And 2 yards short of a first down. Welcome to those of you just joining us here in Baltimore. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf. Cincinnati down by a touchdown, coming up on 1.5 minutes to play. Andy Dalton going deep down the sideline. It is caught inside the 10 by Jerome Simpson.
Kerry Williams underneath, Ed Reed over the top. And somehow Simpson comes up with his football. And Andy Dalton, amazing sometimes, the way he drops in a bomb like that right on his receiver's hands.
Clock running, 1 minute to play in regulation. Bengals need the touchdown, first and goal.
Cincinnati's got 2 timeouts left.
Dalton outside, incomplete. Great dive made to break up the pass by Ed Reed.
Boy, and Ed Reed gets a break on a football like that, that can end up being an interception. Boy, when Ed Reed is coming across underneath. But he did a good job of deflecting that away because that ball was, again, a strike headed right to Hawkins.
Second and goal. Dalton running out of time and got rid of it. Terrell Suggs was all over him, but he got rid of it, and now the penalty marker is thrown.
That's intentional grounding. He was still inside the tackle box. The amazing thing is that was only a 3-man rush by Baltimore.
Officials are talking about it. Here's Ron Winter.
Intentional grounding. Offense. Number 14.
Welcome to those of you just joining us here in Baltimore, where Andy Dalton was just called on this play for intentional grounding.
Yeah, he is directly behind the center when he is grabbed by Suggs. Now here comes Suggs. Boy, that is a horse collar. He started with his hand inside the shoulder pad of Andy Dalton. That could have easily been called a horse collar tackle by Suggs.
Meanwhile, Cincinnati uses its second timeout with 40 seconds on the clock. Let's take another look at it.
Now he does, Suggs, he's coming in from the right. There's the left hand. But as Dalton goes to get away, that's the only thing basically. He's got his hand around his right leg, but he hung on to that thing for quite a while. And none of the officials saw it.
Shows a little strength on the part of young Mr. Dalton. So Cincinnati is down to 1 timeout now, and the line of scrimmage is the 17, and it's 3rd and goal.
And this is a compressed field down here. Here's Jimmy Smith, the rookie, at the bottom.
Let's see if Baltimore sends a bunch of people. Dalton spinning out of trouble and threw it away.
Well, again, they showed 4 and only came with 3 again, and Dalton is running, forced out of the pocket. What a tremendous job on these last 2 pass rushes by the guys up front for Baltimore. Man, what a luxury when you can only bring 3 rushers, 1 get a sack, and 2 force the quarterback out of the pocket.
Those of you who just joined us, remember, this is a Baltimore team playing without Ray Lewis today. Sidelined for the first time in 57 straight games with a toe injury. 4th and goal. Dalton going down. He got rid of it. It's incomplete.
I think Ron Winter ruled him down. That wasn't even. Doesn't matter because it was 4th down, but I think it's going to be a sack.
Pernell McPhee came roaring in.
Again, only 3 guys, and McPhee's all, and Dalton's down, and that McPhee at least will get credit for the sack. Boy, did the front line of the Ravens step up on 3 consecutive plays here defending their end zone. On 3 3-man rushes, they create a lot of havoc.
Joe Flacco will take a knee. And that'll bring this titanic AFC North battle to an end. The Ravens improve to 7-3.
And now tied with the Steelers record-wise, but because they beat Pittsburgh twice, they are now in command of the AFC North.
They've won 7 in a row here at home, 15 of their last 16, and they do it against a very game and up-and-coming Cincinnati Bengals team.